Hello and welcome to F1 as we are back racing in sunny Miami. We have 12 drivers in the grid today and we will get racing here. The championship leader, T.S. Korsman, also known as Mr. Peter Fortnite. Can potentially seal the championship, I think, today if certain things goes his way. And we were right on board with our champion-elect. This season has been sponsored by Similis Clothing, who has very proudly and thankfully donated some hats for us to be using as prizes for the winners each year. Each year we'll get a hat. Each tier winner will get a hat with their name engraved on it. And it'll also have the season number and a little personal message from us. Anyway, so Miami, 19 corners in total. An interesting circuit to say the least. Lap time should be in the low 126s, high 125 expecting. Looking overcast today, so we'll see what that means for now. As we will follow Mr. T.S. on the track as he has DRS wide open on the run down to turn 1. Dropping down the car into third gear, taking a lot of curve there. That's pretty okay. Has to be careful of the inside curve into 2, now around 3, because that can lead you to unsettle the car. Now the long straight run down to turn 4. Some people thought this was an overtaking spot over the weekend, as you can actually just see TS fighting with the car here, slipping and sliding all the way around out of sector 1. And now into the tricky long double apex left-hander. That is turns 7 and 8. Actually, it's a purple sector 1 as it's his first lap. Now DRS wide open yet again on the run down to turn 11, also known as the Beach South. So we see a driver getting out of the way. As he goes here, doesn't take a lot of curve there. Now this tricky right hand, which is the Beach North area. Some people like to keep the car in third. He has to keep it and put it into 4, taking a lot of curve for the chicane. No curve at all for turn 16. Now the longest straight on the track. Two very long DRS zones here. She is trying to get a bit of a toe there from the V car, but looks a bit of a rush roll. Or Will Boyetta. Now into turn 17, the last true braking zone on this circuit. Leaves the car in third gear, extending as much of the track as possible, staying on the racing line, pretty clean. That inside curve can actually unsettle the car into 17, 18 now, 19. And it's going to be a 125.369, so smashes our expectations out of the park. Oceanic Cloth can go 126.4, which is just over a second slower. Michael England, who's buying some very interesting cars in real life, has set at 126.9. Oh boy, that's that. Closest is 0.8 away. And most drivers setting a time here is AJ Mason in the pits. RT Red Ninja setting his first time here as he drifts around turn 1. It's just over 12 minutes to go in qualifying. Most drivers have set a time so far. Only 3 to go without a time. And you see the Irishman here. What can he set? His shiny Mercedes. And he's absolutely drained all of the battery imaginable. And this is going to be the 27s, I think. Almost the 28s. He's going for P9 at the moment. Roswell in 10th. He's in the pits already. He didn't really set a lap. And Crystal yet to set a lap as well. So as it stands, it is more of the same. Tia's domination. Which is fair enough. Oh, it's Adam Bradshaw is commenting on the YouTube chat while I'm on my phone. If this says show ERS or something stupid like that, Adam, I swear to God. It hasn't said. Hold on a second, I'm in the wrong. Who's the loser in the McLaren? Well, he's not even come out yet. Show. Bruh. That's it, I'm turning off telemetry. I'm getting bashy vibes here from the one person watching. As TS is starting another lap now. And taking as much curve as possible, I think, at those corners in sector 1. And what is it going to be for TS as I'm arguing with people on Discord? It's going to be even faster. Nearly a second clear of the competition. Peter Fortnite. Injured Fortnite. Well, as we still will Bonita. Bonita. Will Bonita. As a few drivers are in the pits now. Panos Nikolaitis, everyone's favourite Greek Benaniro. He's on his second flying lap. And he's set a purple sector 2. So maybe Panos with the higher wings here as DRS is wide open down the turn 16 to 17 straight. As misses that apex by a country mile the size of Thessaloniki. But what is Panos going to set? It's going to be a 126.395. He improves by just under 1.5 tenths. 4P4. David Savini. Oh God, he's almost done it. Charles Leclerc. Christo setting a 126.4 on his first attempt. Jean probably going to race back into the pits now and get charged up again for another attempt. Michael improving ever so slightly. There's a lot of curb. That was lovely the way he took that corner. Very smooth there from the Austrian. And it's going to be a 126.530. He actually improves by 4 tenths in the end. Very quick from Michael. That's good enough for P7 at the moment. Any of these times from P9 down would have been good enough for P1 in F2. So definitely the quickest bunch here. As the only person on track is Michael, and he's going to be coming back into the pits now, and we will be getting underway for our final hot lap attempts. William Matthews, our next driver out on track, our only driver out on track, he's back racing. William starting his flying lap. Still nobody else really coming out. Well, they're all coming out now, but the only person on the lap seems to be William. The Dutchman, who had a bit of a break during the summer. As Tia said, he's forgotten to go out, but I don't think it's going to really make a difference to the person on the front row. Zach Smith also now on his last flying lap attempts, and William gave up on that one. He's going to call it a day for qualifying for himself. Now Zach Smith's going through the tricky S's in sector 1 here, taking a lot of curb each time, keeping the car just about within the white lines. Gets a lovely exit there, very smooth on the throttle as it goes down this very long straight. I think this is where Gasly and Norris had an incident a few years ago, if I remember straight. And then here where Sainz and Piastri had an incident this year. I think Sainz was ran off the road by Piastri or vice versa. That's kind of where their little rivalry started, which has soon died out as the Ferrari is attracted it. Yes, Adam Bradshaw, you have renamed the Max Verstappen song to Peter Fortnite. As Roger was retired now for the session, Boyata will be looking to make a dent into this time, maybe start even ahead as we see. I think it's a Red Bull going a mile off the track there. Well, they're gone anyway, or it might be the V car above Roger. It's going to be a 125.775 for Zach. It's good enough for P3 at the moment. A big improvement from him. Will is improving. I don't think it's going to be enough unless he finds a few tenths between here and the finish line. It's going to cross the line. It's probably going to be in the 25s. It is indeed. Doesn't actually improve at all, so he's going to start P2. Next up is Davis Lavini, the Italian. What can he do? As he's currently not improving by 6 thousandths. And David's going to get a bit of a toe here for the Mercedes, and he does improve ever so slightly. I think that actually puts him into P4 and Panos P5. So just to round out our starting grid, we'll have AG Maiten in P12, Roswell Iniesta in P11, RT Red Ninja, or TE Red Ninja now in P10, William Matthews in P9, Jean Goring in P8, Michael England in P7. Then we have QWERTY Stephen Clay in P6, Zach Smith in P3, Will Boyat in P2, and Mr. Tias Korsman in P1 by over half a second on the grid. Race coming up just after this break. It looks to be quite sunny here today. It doesn't look like there's going to be any rain if that's the case. Just waiting for everyone to set up their strategies and their setups. And we're going to get underway for round 8 of season 13, sponsored by Simulus Clothing. In F1, we are around racing, and T.S. Korsman gets away quite nicely, but however, Will Boyata is coming right at him. I think Will's going to have the lead into turn 1. He is indeed. I think AJ Menton's gone very far off. He got a bad start there. David Slovini overtaking Zach Smith as well for P3. Crystal overtaking Michael for P7. Michael dropping in loads of places now. Roswell getting past him as well. William Matthews and Jean now fighting. In that early skirmish here, Roswell and Crystal now fighting as well. The pack seeming to be relatively close, apart from the Alpine of Menton, who has fallen back in 12. No casualties just yet after that start. So not a cloud in the sky so far. And hold on a second here. Michael and Jean fighting side by side on the run down to turn 11. Michael going to edge him out just for now, as the Mercedes of Red Ninja right on the mix as well. Right behind these two. Further up the field, TS has regained the lead, as well, that's going to be a track limit warning for Will. And he's got David Slovini right behind him. Stephen Clay also there, in and about. Every driver just hugging behind the person in front of them to get that slipstream. DRS not activated just yet. Let's have a look at the tyres and see what everybody's on. Ooh, Stephen almost goes right into the back there. Zach instead goes right into the wall. Has he got damage from that? Looks like he might have gone away with it for now. As T is starting on the hards, sets the fastest lap of the race as the first driver across the track. The start-finish time. So the majority of the field has went with the mediums, where we have 5 drivers in the hards, so it's a 7-5 split. No one elected to go in the softs, as AJ is now 6.5 seconds away from Chris. Now, Will already outside of the DRS between himself and Tias, and David is staying with Will though. Eventually going to be making a move, I think, here. Will pushing there to get back into the DRS range, as Roswell and William Matthews are fighting side by side, and the Haas as well. The Haas of William going off track there, and he's losing the position to Crystal now as well. Crystal is in a bit of trouble here. Is he okay? Looks to have lost the car there into the exit of 14. That was a close one. Everyone seeming to be surviving. David Slovini overtaking Will Boyata further up the field. Palang has got a 10-second penalty. I'm assuming that's his day done. As Will Boyata and Zach are fighting. Stephen Clay with the fastest lap of the race so far. AJ seems to be really struggling with his car at the moment. Anyway, we'll go back up the front. There's a yellow flag due to AJ spinning. Is he doing something intentional here? That is the question. Anyway, he is leading the way here by over 2 seconds from David. I'm not exactly sure what AJ is doing here, but anyway. He's 2.5 seconds leading here, but here comes Will on David. These two having a great little fight here. And Zach also arriving on the scene. What is this? Anyway, William Matthews overtaking Roswell in the S of the two Dutchmen fighting for P7. And Panos in front of them. Panos struggling to stay within the DRS, is he? He is indeed. Stephen Clay just breaking clear. It's going to protect him. It's going to let him to push on and attack the drivers in front. Will Boyat nearly 3 seconds away. And gaining here. As we're going to see a bit of overtaking here now. As the Williams of Zach had a look at Will there. Will just seems to have dropped out ever so slightly. And David is now 3.5 seconds away from Tia's. Tia's in his own race at the moment. As we see William Matthews' car right in the wall there. And that's going to bring out the safety car here. Look like he got a bit bonked into the middle there. AJ's going to get a chance to get back into this race. So our first safety car of the day, and Tia's into the pits already. Interesting from him. Few drivers heading into the pits now. Most drivers heading into the pits now. As AJ's going to get disqualified here. David's going to lead the way on his old mediums, followed by Zach. And then Tia's only going to come out P3 because of this. Sometimes in the Euro, you're just going to have to take a step back and, you know, distance yourself from the logic, because the logic doesn't always make sense. But we'll see where we end up here. So Tia's thinking maybe the 2-stop is the optimal strategy here. We're going to see how it plays out for him. I don't think he really needs to worry about strategy too much, he's that quick. But nonetheless, let's see what he decides to do. Further into this race, the safety car will go around for another lap. all winding down now. Nothing really to talk about at this point in the race. Miami seems to be one of the better races on this game, but it's kind of difficult to commentate on. We'll do our best for you here on this beautiful Saturday night, the last day of August. Monza underway in real life F1 at the moment, where Lando Norris currently leading the way there. He is on pole position. as apparently Will is on the toilet. Say that, It looks to be McLaren's constructors to lose in real life at the moment, but from a driver's championship point, Max needs to do something stupid. He needs to DNF tomorrow or finish P6 or P5, and then the race is right on. But anyway, speaking of racing, David Slovini, the Italian, is going to get us underway as everyone tries to warm up those tyres, but you can't warm up in this game. We're just going to wait for the safety car to go into the pit lane, which it has, and David's free to go, and he has just before turn 17. You can actually see a great shot here of the last few corners. Everyone looks to get away pretty cleanly in the restart. David getting away quite nicely as well. Roswell and Christoph fighting further down the field. We see Plying fighting with himself yet again. I actually don't know what this guy is doing, to be honest. Anyway, so David Slovini getting away quite nicely there. He's got Tias now right behind him already. And Stephen Clay and Will Boyat just not able to keep Tias Korsman behind. As William Matthews now and Joseph Burns fighting further down the field for P6. And Zach Smith is about to be attacked here by Joseph the Irishman. No DRS yet as he is already getting past David further up the field. But here comes a dive. Oh, just manages to avoid contact with Stevens' diffuser there at his rear left tyre. Keeping the car on the track. Good move there by Joseph. That was very close though to being something calamity. Some calamity there. As you see him going through this tricky chicane section here. Be very careful not to involve another shunt which happened. Brought the safety car just a few laps ago. Tias does indeed go even faster now. We're seeing a bit of action on track with this little middle pack here. Speaking of this middle pack, Joseph has got a 3-second time penalty, as is another yellow flag. And what am I seeing here is these 5 cars very close to each other here. The Haas and the Mercedes going side by side in a section of the track. You wouldn't really be doing that. As a result, Joseph has to cut the chicane. Williams keeping the car on track, hitting the curves there as much as possible. There's a big pack here of about 7 drivers. So basically everyone from P4 all the way down. And we see Panos and Crystal fighting, William and Joseph fighting. And the Williams of Zach also sticking his nose out as AJ has gone off again. Everyone, well, the Red Bull making a bit of contact with the wall there, but everyone looking to be okay for the moment. No one dying just yet as we're into lap 9 of 29. We might see a 3 or 4 wide here. As the Red Bull is ghosted for some reason now. Stephen Clay seems to be okay now. But a lot of potential for chaos here. Williams seems to have just broken a tiny bit away from this pack here. You see the car struggling for grip as well around the tricky S's in Sector 1. Now coming up to turn 7 and 8. There's a bit more overtaking. Is Panos now and Zach fighting. It's great to see from these 7 drivers or so. Further up the field, David and Will are fighting, as Roswell and Zach now also fighting for P9 at the moment on track. These two getting very close to the back of each other here, as Tias is now 4 seconds ahead and he's actually lapping AJ. David is not overtaking Will there. He has been even faster than the 128, low 128 now. With Stephen managing just about to keep up with Joseph ahead of him as David gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Roswell's gone. What has happened here? I think he's retired in the pits. And we're down to 11 drivers here this evening. As AJ gets another 3-second time penalty and another 3-second time penalty. Bro is going for the DSQ. As Roswell has departed from our lobby this evening. So, nearly 6 seconds separates Will and Tiaz. Then David is just over a second away. He's going to pull some tenths back to get in within DRS. Then William 4 seconds away again, and then the rest of the field all separated by less than a second. So it's really anybody's guess here of who gets in what position. A lot can change now with the next 19 or so laps. Michael and Zach fighting as Zach clips the back of Michael's car, manages to save it. Crystal and Stephen Clay fighting. They've had battles earlier on this season. And it's riding on board with the Englishman in his Red Bull. Just chasing Jean here, Mr. Gooding. As Stephen there with a move on Panos. It's all going crazy here. We've just seen the cars just slide around the place in that sector 2. Now it's nearly 8 seconds is the gap here. And now Panos looking to get a move on Stephen, and that he does. Up to P6 now for the Greekman. And he's going to be looking to carry on with his charge. But Stephen Clay not going away just yet here. Still, the race begins to settle down ever so slightly. Big action seems to be happening. That group of about 7 drivers. somebody, I think, yeah. As Joseph is now retired in the pits as well. And now Stephen Clay, the next driver to get a 3-second time penalty. Will kind of on his own world. David, T is in his own world at the moment. David also approaching his own world. William Matthews currently in 4th position. Crystal has DRS and is going to be hunting him down. See there in turns 7 and 8. How the car can just easily slip and slide around the place. Crystal is going to have another helping at DRS, which is going to help him get away from Panos and hunt down William at the moment. Really is closing in on the back of William here, and if he gets a good exit here out of 16, we expect him to make the overtake into 17. Doesn't go make the move. Still fighting here. William has a bit of a wobble there in turn 1. But he's staying with John. He's actually sat behind him now. He's going to have to do with being behind. As Crystal up to P3. David Stavini has come in to pit for fresh hards. So has Zach. William and John still fighting it out here. And Crystal not giving this one up just yet. These two have been battling for the last lap or so. It's been very good stuff from them. Crystal yet again taking control in the first half of the lap. He's going to try and lose William as best he can. He's only 10 seconds away from Will. Yet again, it looks like DRS is going to play a big part here, and William going to overtake Crystal into turn 11. And 12 and 13 we go here now. And now, is it going to be inverted again, these positions? On the main straight between 16 and 17, or the back straight as we should call it. Further down the field, Panos also arriving on the scene here to spoil this party. And here comes Crystal with DRS. Gets the overtake, nicely done. And it's Williams' turn now again to be lagging behind. As at the exit of 16, Williams seems to get a good exit there, but he seems to be losing to Jean ever so slightly. He's gaining and gaining. He's not going to make a move here. It's a bit of a lock up there from Crystal. I think his rear right tire. And we've seen this a few times now in the last few laps with just 13 laps to go. If William wants to shake it up here, he probably shouldn't overtake with DRS. As David gets another 3-second time penalty for them. Not the best here. The question is, if you're William, do you elect to overtake here or do you just stay behind? I suppose maybe if Panos isn't there, you wouldn't probably not overtake his Crystal's a bit of a wobble there though. Through the chicane. He seems to be okay just for now. And as a result of that wobble, Jean now is not going to be able to overtake with DRS. He is into the pits, interestingly enough. Crystal also into the pits. So is Panos. So, as we enter into lap 18 and 29, Will Boyata will be leading this race. And he's going to be hunting down Tia's Korsman. David Sloveni now getting back to position from Jean. He's been on fresh mediums for the rest of this race. Zach Smith and Panos very close behind. Panos a bit of a slow stop there or something. We will see here how quick he is compared to Will on the fresher, softer compounded tyres. He's gaining tenths every corner. Is he going to get DRS as well here from the AI AJ? It's Panos that gets past Zach for P8, and he's going to be hunting down his friend Jean Goering. So P3, P4, P5, all running on old tyres. The question is, do you get to the point where you have to kind of stay out? Well, Matthias has gained over half a second in that first lap. Now Michael getting very close here. He's got DRS. He's the only driver with DRS apart from Panos on the track at the moment. Not a whole lot happening as it stands, but that won't deter us. We will soldier on here. He is now going even faster. Look at that. That gap was 7.5 seconds the last lap. Now it's just under 4. Rapid pace here. As entering into lap 20 of 29. And even still, he's still rapidly gaining. So I suppose Will now at this point, he has to stay out. He is still hunting him down now. Assuming just under 2 seconds. There's the gap as we approach into turn 1. Really pushing here on those medium tyres. He has to use a lot of his battery up, and Will is keeping his, so he's going to want to defend here by the looks of it. So what's going to be the interesting thing now is Matthias might even have DRS in this straight. So if Will is going to be defending, it is going to be 4, probably. Ooh, this was a bit wide there. Both drivers using their ERS, trying to burn those batteries. And we're going to see a move for the lead here as Tia's on the outside, gets the move done. Just got much better grip with those medium compound tyres. And Will is going to get the move back into the lead for now. But here comes Tia's side-by-side action into turn 1. Both drivers keeping it relatively clean here. Will takes a lot of curb there. And hasn't used too much of his battery too soon. Will not getting all these helpings of DRS. He's going to have to come up with a plan B. He's doing his best here to try and just stay with T as much as possible, but it's just not working, is it? Even with the DRS, he's just gaining ever so slightly, about 2.5 tenths. When the tyres are cooked, the tyres are cooked. Further down the field, Panos and Christo still fighting it out. And Stephen Clay is going to be fighting out with his teammate on the track, but he's got a penalty, so kind of span on the works. Will has dropped off nearly to 1.5 seconds away from Tia's. And that's that fight over. That's just got a few laps to go now. William Matthews having an impressive race. After racing in F2, is on course at the moment to finish P3 in this race. And so the drivers who pit for the fresh mediums, it doesn't really seem to have worked out for them, apart from Tia's. But even him, he was 8 seconds clear. Now I'm sure he'll be around that towards at least that towards the end of the race. As David Slovini has retired in the pits. Tia's getting a 3-second time penalty now. That's an interesting development. Is that going to give Will a chance now to come back into this? Just an exercise of trying to just stay within that 3-second gap. As the two Red Bulls are the closest drivers to each other on the track at the moment. Just over 6/10 separating them. As everything seems to just settle down now, as we're into lap 24 of 29, with William now 12.5 seconds away and Michael 6 seconds away from him. Nothing else really happening on the track at the moment. Crystal and Panos' fight has come to an end for now. And nothing really happening, to be honest, on the track at the moment, so everything just seems to be settled down. 20 seconds separating the top three, 25 seconds separating the top four. What was once some close fighting at one point has now just seemed to have, well, no one's got to arrest anybody. Well, Stephen does, apparently, and Michael, but Well, Crystal seems to have caught up finally, Stephen, so we're going to have a bit of action now at long last. These three drivers very close to each other on the track. As that McLaren hunting down the two Red Bulls in front of them. In the distance we see the Greek Panos, the Greek man's car in the Alpine, the Panos Nikolaitis, the one, the only, the Panos Nikolaitis? But anyway. As if these three start squabbling, it's going to really help Panos and he'll catch up ASAP. And saying that, Stephen Clay has gotten past Michael. Now Crystal looking to do the same thing as well. But here comes Michael right back on his teammate, on Stephen. But hold on here with a switchback there. And QWERTY getting right back up there. Up to P4 as a cheeky little move there. That was very clever. Like to see, but the action isn't finished yet as Crystal now closing into the back of the Austrian's car. And Crystal going to go for the move now around turn 7. Move isn't finished yet though. Is he going to have the battery to fend off Michael? He is. But Michael's already gaining. Maybe he's got lower wings. Both of them should have DRS. Which they do. Is there going to be a move here? No move here. But hold on. Oof. A Stephen now yet again with another attempted switchback. And he's going to have to stay behind now as Crystal's got ahead of both of these drivers. We'll just see this from Michael's point of view as he's got the best seat in the house. And as we said, Panos was nearly 3 seconds behind. Now he's less than a second. He's going to be joining in on this fight too. And Stephen really going to go for it here. He's going to get the move done with DRS. Crystal going to be the driver at risk as he's the one without DRS. Bit of tapping there as everyone just loses the car and through goes Panos. I'm not sure if someone made contact with the back of someone's car there, but everyone just lost the car under braking. And that's let QWERTY just kind of sail ahead and build a bit of a buffer. Zach Smith has come into the pits and he's going to try and nab the fastest lap in this penultimate lap of the race. Now Panos really closing into the back of Stephen here. DRS really helping him. Crystal really closing in as well. Michael just a ways bit away. These four very close to each other here. They're going to provide some action for us and entertainment into the last few laps. Again, DRS providing a key power tool here for overtaking. And we're going to see Crystal have the inside here. Panos, the driver at risk without the DRS. And these guys just constantly swapping positions between them. Usually the guy leading is, or the person leading is obviously going to be the driver at risk, but they just keep slingshotting back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. As we are on the last lap of the race, I don't think the pitting for the mediums has worked as well as they thought. Because, well, Crystal was in P3 at the time of pitting. And now, those who've ran the hards for 24 laps, they're going to get P2 and P3. Now, it hasn't worked out for Stephen Clay, but these things happen, I suppose. Driver error, skill, whatever. as Tias Korsman will take victory here in round 8. Another one for him. Will Boyata will come in second place to finish in second. The Brazilian driver. Great stuff from him. William Matthews is going to end up on the podium. The F2 driver, but hold on, we're not finished here, as Panos and Crystal now are going to be ducking it out here for 4th position. And it looks like Panos is going to nab it at the line. Yes, indeed. With Michael finishing 6th, Stephen finishing 7th due to that time penalty. And then we just got to wait on Zach Smith. And it's another win for the Dutchman. So T is in P1, Will in P2, William in P3, Panos P4, Crystal P5, Stephen P6, and then I think Michael finishes in P7 and Zach in P8, as far as I'm aware, because I think Michael just left the server early. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. And we will be back next week where we are in Austria for some more action in F124. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Good night.